welcome back to Cartoon Conversations, everybody, with your hosts, Elliot Katch and Jordan Stein, talking about the most important issues on here with the Justice League Unlimited cartoon show! Hey! Explosions! Again, because we have no budget. Hooray! So you're just gonna have to imagine them.
Yes.
Shut up, all of you.
The special effects budget is non-existent because I never learned how to edit. So... yeah. So, our big question of this week is, what do you think of this as a send-off for Supergirl?
Yes, in this episode, what is it called again, Jordan? I don't have my...
Far From Home.
What?
It's called Far From Home.
Far from home? I wonder why she's far from home. But in fact, she's far from home because she goes off into the future, which is pretty amazing, because, like, holy shit, they kind of pinpoint lasered her in the future. Whatever. This is the last episode we see of her. And how does it compare as a send-off?
So, this is going to be fun, because I loved it. And Elliot...
Yeah, what? I'm waiting for you.
I was waiting for your reaction. You were supposed to go.
Oh, yeah, no, I fucking hated this episode.
Yeah.
I didn't remember this episode and, like, what was going on in it from before. I'm like, I couldn't really remember. I remember the ending, I remember the beginning, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And as slowly I kept going through it, I started to realize why I didn't remember, because I had suppressed this episode. I hated this episode.
You know, your reaction to that kind of reminds me of the Ties That Bind, the Mr. Magic or something like that, and Big Barda episode. Mr. Miracle, that's what it is. And
Mr. Miracle, yeah, no, I like that one.
Yeah. How you liked it and I didn't. I think we're going to have a similar reaction here. Okay. So, on the episode summary. We open 1,000 years in the future. Everything is pointy and skyscraper-y, and it's a city.
Everything is made of chrome.
It's just your basic cityscape from the future.
Chrome.
Yes. So, at Legion of Superheroes HQ, Brainiac 5 and Bouncing Boy are alone in the abandoned headquarters. Bouncing Boy informs us that the rest of the Legion of Superheroes is gone. But Brainiac 5 has a plan. They're going to go back in time, and Bouncing Boy... little skeptical of this plan because of, the whole paradox destroying all of creation issue.
Yeah, he seemed to be really skeptical of that at first, but then he also seemed to be the first person that would almost undo it.
But then Brainiac 5's like, don't worry, 3 Justice Leaguers went to the future at some point. And Bouncing Boy knows this because this is apparently common future knowledge. That 2 of them came back. So, thanks, Exposition Boy.
Magical Bouncing Exposition Boy.
That is pretty much his role. We are now calling him MEB.
Magical Exposition Boy?
Oh, sorry, 2 B's. MEB.
Oh, Magical Exposition Bouncing Boy.
Yes.
Yeah, his ability never really seemed like the kind of thing you'd see in the future. Like it's something you would see in the past. A guy who's just kind of fat and jumps around. He's very buoyant.
Yep. But here's the thing. He seems reasonably powerful. He actually does pretty well in the fighting.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, like, he launched himself into dudes. He seemed pretty good. Yep. In all honesty, he was, like, so acrobatic and nimble as fuck. I kind of was jealous of him.
Yeah. Point to you, Meb.
Yeah, Meb. With the hard B.
Yeah, with the double hard B.
With the double hard B.
Meb-ba-ba.
Carrying on.
Yes, so then we hit credits. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. In the final episode, we should do our attempt to sing it from memory.
Sing it from memory? Yeah. I mean, like, a song that doesn't have words. Can you
we'll
really...
We'll do it in doo-doo-doos. And then after that, play the song.
In the background? Can we play the song in the background, or is that, like, copyrighted?
I really think not enough people listen to this that it matters.
I think it's like 60 seconds worth. We can do, like, 60 seconds worth.
Yeah. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see how far off we are. Like, I think in my head I can do it. But
me too.
In my logical center of my brain, I know that I don't know this, that I just have random doo-doo-doos.
I think in my head I can do a lot of things, all of which end in failure, but that's
like that backflip.
Like that one backflip. Over that pool of piranhas. while on fire, juggling chainsaws. With all the money I was going to donate to that orphanage. Huh.
Poor orphans. We had to feed them to the piranhas.
We couldn't afford them, so we had to feed them to the fish.
Now that I think about it, we could have fed the piranhas to the orphans.
Piranhas taste awful. Orphans taste amazing. Their sadness flavors them perfectly.
That's true. We did do the right thing. You're right.
Yeah, we did the right thing for our country.
Yep. God bless America. So, we open in the present day with people running and screaming.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine is pretty much a normal day in the DC universe. I imagine they have the living in a city diet, where you move to a city, and then you spend so much time running and screaming, you're in shape.
Oh my god, yes. Even though you sit behind a desk job every single goddamn day of your life, and you
your
eat
office has like a 30% chance of exploding, and you're going to get into
yeah.
some great exercise on those days.
So your fucking legs and your cardio is amazing.
Yeah, no. Seriously.
Yeah.
The DC Universe diet and exercise strategy, top marks. Totally beat Weight Watchers in all double-blind surveys.
So, those fuckers, like, just book it, immediately.
Yeah.
They're, what are the Kegels? Is it Kegels, I think? Or your thighs? Your thigh muscles?
Ankles, I think you're talking about.
Yeah. And they're like, goddamn, oh my god, you could probably break a man's skull with how fit those people in that office are. As soon as they see Superman flying around, they're like, book it, ground floor, going now.
Yeah.
End of day, it's fine.
I'm so fast it's quicker to take the stairs now. So, Supergirl and Green Lantern arrive. Supergirl attacks Queen Bee under the watchful eye of Green Lantern. By the way, I just want to talk about how much I hate the design of Queen Bee.
Really?
In this.
Oh, I actually kind of enjoy the bee-themed characters, or like the insect-themed characters.
Really? I thought it was like really stupid. Like, I thought the Young Justice look was so cool of her. That she looked like a warlord.
I actually don't remember what she looked like in Young Justice.
You should Google it. She looks like
someone
you don't want to get on the wrong side of. Great design there.
Oddly Egyptian looking.
A little Egyptian looking.
Yeah, I remember.
Very African looking.
Yeah, she was all conniving and.
Yeah.
Queen Bee
She was a real A-list villain in that show.
Yeah, she
looks like a D-list villain in this show.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I guess she's not really a villain in this show, but still. I think it was a pretty crummy design. She's attacked by Dr. Cyber, whose design I'm actually pretty happy with. I think Dr. Cyber looks pretty cool.
Dr. Cyber!
Think like a android with a gun. Like RoboCop.
Right.
Except Gold played it.
Lasts for 5 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, neither of them can stand up to, Supergirl. But RoboCop probably couldn't either, so. It's fair. So, they're both quickly defeated. She celebrates it, which is a mistake, because it turns out she's in training. And her mentors just love to screw with her. So, Atomic Skull and...
Who's that other guy? The Hulk ripoff?
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, right.
I also like how it's all of the people who've been her mentor in the show. It's Green Arrow, Supergirl... sorry, 1 second.
Wait, what do you mean?
So I like how all of her mentors are there. We got Green Arrow, who helped her in Fearful Symmetry. We've got Superman, obviously, her cousin and mentor from Superman the Animated Series. And Green Lantern, who she's really formed a close bond with since Initiation, the first episode, where she also met Green Arrow. So, that's nice. So the Blockbuster and Atomic Skull are there, and Atomic Skull can fly and shoot laser beams from his eyes for
which is pretty cool for him, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's a new Atomic Skull, we might say.
Yeah, no, he's got a lot going for him. He's grown up in the world.
Yeah. So I guess, this is Atomic Skull hard mode. But Supergirl still quickly disposes them, probably because they're actually just like flimsy robots.
Right. So, yeah, no, these are just training drones once again. She is once again learning about all that good stuff and fighting and all that good stuff.
I like it. I still like this scene. It shows how close they are. And it makes the League seem family-ish.
Yeah. Like, it was very... It's just like very, very pleased stepdad kind of thing,
Yeah.
or like an older brother.
Awesome stepdad like Stripe we're talking about.
Oh yeah, like Stripe.
Best stepdad ever. So, while she does that, since her victory is so assured, we just kind of like put it on in the background screens as Green Arrow and Superman, who are in the Danger Room HQ, you might say, or the America's Choice Danger Room, talk about raising Supergirl. So,
Raising Supergirl.
Green Arrow lets us know that this is her 21st birthday, and that he and Black Canary invited her out, which, by the way, that's so cute.
Right.
Like, that they're at that point in the relationship where they can invite someone out together.
Oh God.
That's really
adorable,
nice.
but I'm gonna vomit.
I like how we see their relationship progress each time they're on screen together. And they really are very comfortable with each other now. I don't know if this is in-universe with the DC Green Arrow animated short, but I really hope it is, because that one's really sweet too. And at the end he proposes. So I would like to think that those crazy kids got together. So, continuing on. Green Arrow is concerned. She doesn't feel at home on Earth and points out that she grew up on, I think it's called, like, Argo? I could be mistaking the name. It's Krypton's sister planet. In this universe, that's where she grew up. And that place was 1,000 years in advanced from Earth.
Right.
So, she feels a little bit in the Stone Age, you might say.
Right. She's definitely one of those. It's understandable for her to feel alienated. Ha! Because she's an alien.
Because she's an alien.
Yeah, it's funny.
So, Green Arrow says, you can't understand what it is to be an outsider. And Superman just kind of looks at him and goes, you do realize I'm an alien, right?
Last of my
And
kind before she showed up.
Yeah. Second to last of my kind.
Yeah.
Although, are they the same species? Because they come from different planets.
They come from different planets?
They come from different planets in this universe.
Oh.
It depends on which universe you're in. In Superman the Animated Series, he finds her from Krypton's sister planet, but I think they're the same species. I don't really know. They got blown up in the same explosion.
Well, yeah, we're gonna play it off like pretty much humans exist in all forms of the galaxy. So you can have Kryptons existing in all forms of Kryptonians in all forms of galaxy too. How about that?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So.
And everyone speaks English, of course.
And everyone speaks English, which is the universal language.
Unless
Except for that one really annoying planet that won't give up their French.
Yeah. Unless it's an anime, then everyone speaks Japanese, of course.
Yes.
Perfectly.
Of course. So, I really like the scene now. He also says Superman should spend more time with her. And Superman says he wants her to create her own identity, to avoid her feeling like she's in his shadow. Green Arrow says that she's proud to be related to him because, you know, he's Superman. That's a thing to be proud of, to be related to him. And he even points out how she changed her costume to look more like him. And I don't think Superman realized that because he looks genuinely touched.
Yeah, no, he was like, yeah, I guess I am proud of it.
Supergirl, but he doesn't want Supergirl to know. He wants to keep some distance and let her discover herself. It's two very different and interesting takes on parenting, I would say. You know, Superman wants to be a little bit hands-off and let them discover herself, and Green Arrow is the hovering dad who wants to make sure she never makes a mistake and loves her very much.
I feel like Green Arrow is more of like the cool dad that'll teach you in a way that is personal and friendly, but is also strict in the sense that he's going to call you out on your shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Green Lantern is the military dad who always shows off the most when he's proud of you, and you feel that too. I feel like Superman was the hardest to really have a familiarity with because he's very strict with her, but also at a arm's length kind of thing.
I like how, was it, she's complaining to Stargirl in the earlier episode at Chaos at the Earth's Core?
Yeah.
About how she had to stay in Kansas 3 years. That's great. That's just really funny.
3, I thought it was 2.
Was it 2 years?
It didn't matter, really.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool how they both see themselves as parents to Supergirl, but they have very different takes to it. I really like that. So, Green Lantern is also proud of her, but he tells her a little more directly, saying that he has nothing left to teach her, and she's touched. But I think she's mostly sad about it.
She's touched.
Because I think the training gave her a sense of family. And she's afraid of losing that and going into the great unknown. It really plays into that sense of isolation Green Arrow was mentioning. So, Green Arrow walks in, and the three of them are immediately taken by Brainiac 5's time bubble. Superman rushes in to save them.
Time bubble!
It's too late. They're in the future. So, in the future, Brainiac 5 attempts to introduce himself, but Supergirl sees the trademark triangle and attacks. She's starting to break into his force field when Green Arrow realizes what's going on and holds her back. I love the trust, because we know Supergirl is so much stronger than Green Arrow.
Right,
But he grabs her arm and she stops. That's not only great self-control by her, but it also shows a very large amount of trust she has in him. It's really great when you have mentors, people you love and respect who can trust you like that. That's a really amazing and beautiful thing.
Yeah, that it was a lot of it was teamwork in a way, because it showed, she was a part of the Justice League, and he's the one that calls the shots, so I should listen to him.
Well, I mean, I think we know Green Lantern is in charge of this mission.
Oh, yeah.
In the hierarchy, it's Green Lantern, then Green Arrow, then Supergirl. But Green Lantern is way above Green Arrow. So, whatever. But then Brainiac 5 explains he's a good guy. That's his shtick. Making up for his family's sins. I actually really love that backstory.
Right.
Brainiac figured out how to pass himself down organically, and the first 4 were evil. But he's Brainiac 5, and he makes up for his family's sins as the good Kaluan.
Right.
Kaluan sounds like a drink.
Yeah,
at a DC-themed bar. Like, the Kaluan, it's got, Kahlua and something to make it green.
Something to make it green. Well, isn't Kahlua always green? Or wait, what am I thinking?
No, Kahlua is brown.
Oh, right. Although if you add green dye, I don't think it would be...
Yeah, no, I don't know how you would do it. Not green. It'd be like that blue of Brainiac. I guess...
Oh! Maybe you could add, what's that melon drink? To make it kind of like a dark green, greenish brown, and be like chocolate melon. Although, that would be very, who would really want to drink this? I would hella drink it.
No one would drink this drink.
Yeah.
But no one ever drinks a Romulan ale, and that exists, so... It's bright neon blue, so...
I don't know what that is.
It's a drink from Star Trek.
Oh.
And people drink it as I'm a Star Trek fan, I'm going to drink this once, and then they never drink it again, because it's bright neon blue. And the things you have to do to liquid to make it bright neon blue are not things that you want to put in your body. So, Green Lantern is not so in love with this because of the kidnapping and all.
Right.
But...
people tend to be a little upset about that factor.
Yeah. Bouncing Boy and Brainiac 5 explain the situation with a little hero worship on the side and a narrowly avoided paradox. So, everything went about as well as you could hope, considering...
Right, fucking Meb just, immediately almost ruined everything, even after he said, you shouldn't ruin almost everything. Yeah. He goes and does it.
Although, honestly, if I met George Washington, which I guess would be the equivalent of this, I'm not sure I wouldn't fanboy.
Right.
forget where I was. So
I'd start singing his songs in Hamilton, and he'd have no idea.
he would probably say some very racist things if you started singing Hamilton music at him.
Oh my God, yes, he would.
And he would probably not enjoy being played by a black person.
Right.
But
I'm surprised you let your slaves this close.
yes.
Like, whoa, okay. I mean, your great symbol. Time to go back to your homeland. Yeah, your timeline.
We're taking you to the old folks' home now.
Yeah.
Where you'll meet other people who say similar things. So Green Lantern is, let's say, less than excited to log his third time travel mission, but he is willing. Green Arrow, they conference on the side, the three heroes. Green Arrow is all in. I guess he knows faces, and alien faces he can read, so, good for him. But Supergirl doesn't trust Brainiacs, even when they're cute.
Oh my God. And here's where it starts.
Okay, I know how you don't like this, but I kind of like this.
Oh my God.
Okay, she's 21, she's known for being rash and impulsive. Falling for a guy and almost dying and having him saving each other's lives.
Known him for 5 seconds. She tried to kill him for the first 3. He's an odd shade of green, doesn't talk like a normal person, has beeping lights constantly, and yet she thinks he's cute? Yeah, okay, whatever, sure.
Well, she grew up on an alien planet. She might have had blue people on her planet. She could have, tentacle monsters on her planet that it was normal to date.
This isn't Japan. Get it, because of the tentacle, and
no, I got that, and I was, a little creeped out by it, and I was like, did I just reference that? And then I was like, hey, just play it off like it didn't happen. So, whatever. So, at the Legion of Superheroes, Tete-a-tete, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. Bouncing Boy insists that Brainiac 5 reveals Supergirl isn't in history after the mission. But Brainiac 5 is worried it will change history. Bouncing Boy upbraids him, but their conversation is cut short by the 3 Justice Leaguers coming over to say they're in. The United team is going to the lab of HQ when 2 of our villains, the Persuader and the Emerald Empress...
I fucking love the Persuader. Oh my God, I was so happy.
It's a really cool design. He looks like an American axe murderer.
Sort of.
I don't know, because he's got the red, white, and blue theme and the giant axe.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like a patriotic axe murderer.
Yeah. In other renditions, the one I saw the most, he was more blue and more gold.
That's less American.
I was really, really hoping they would talk about his axe. They never did, except for a quick kind of smirky thing Green Arrow said. But the Persuader... have you read anything about the Persuader?
I haven't really read the Persuader.
The Persuader's axe, he actually got this axe from Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's an axe that can tear apart atoms. It will rip apart space and time. It's so impressively amazing.
Yeah, no, his axe is very strong. You can tell because he defeats pretty much all the Justice Leaguers, who you might have noticed are quite powerful.
Oh yeah, you kind of fucks them over pretty quick.
So the Persuader and Emerald Empress attack. Also, we find out there are no Green Lanterns left, which is just truly terrifying that Emerald Empress is that powerful. That's a shit your pants line right there.
She said in this galaxy, so, they do hop around different planets and solar systems.
I mean, they pretty much stay in the galaxy. Although they do say universe, so in this new world, there might be multiple galaxies that are colonized. But either way, there's a very real possibility that she has, gone and destroyed Oa.
Or, the Manhunters.
And then destroyed the other 6 Ring Cores. That's
That-
a terrifying level of power.
That's hard to believe.
I know, but that seems to be what it's implying. I mean, I assume that perhaps some of the ring cores died out. I don't see much of a succession plan for the Orange Lanterns, for instance. The Blue Lanterns, maybe they died out on their own. I could see that happening. Red Lanterns probably killed all of each other. You can see how some of these lantern cores might not have been so sustainable.
Right.
So and then the Green Lanterns got a bit weak over time. You know, all organizations go through weak periods, and then she just killed them all. So you can create a story of how it happened, but it's still terrifyingly powerful. So
Yeah, I'm sure there's like loads of possibilities and reasonings.
I also have a theory that she uses Green Lantern rings to power her eye, and that's why she was able to overpower John Stewart's ring. Because she's powered by multiple rings. And I love John Stewart, but he's not exactly the creative Green Lantern. So, you know, like maybe like a Kyle Rayner would have had a better shot here. Like he could have made like a dinosaur with chainsaw arms.
Well, yeah, no,
and that might have been more effective.
He's the one that's not very creative, remember.
Which I like. I generally like. But in this episode, I was thinking, you know, little creativity might help you here. Like, you know, I know you're not like a creative guy, but maybe like put a gun in your head and then have it shoot bullets. At least that. I don't know, because the shooting stuff and bubbles isn't working in this situation. So
shoot bullets.
Yeah. So
A smarter phrase I've never heard.
So, for the looks, people who haven't seen the episode, Persuader, it's like an American killer robot. And Emerald Empress is kind of like an evil Green Lantern with a leather fetish. So, they fight. Green Arrow is quickly captured. He fights bravely, but, you know, he's a little out of his league, considering he's a technology-based superhero whose technology is 1,000 years behind the times.
Right.
So, he's not in his element.
I love that part he does later on where he's just mixing around some shit and immediately comes up with some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So Emerald Empress hypnotizes him and puts him under mind control. Green Lantern's then knocked out by the Persuader, so things are going well. Supergirl asks Brainiac 5's power. He's a 12th level intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
She is unimpressed.
Yeah, she is less than happy.
Yeah. But he does give a good shot at the Persuader, better than Green Lantern does, actually.
Right.
Before he's knocked away. So...
Well, she does have the super strength and whatnot.
So Supergirl, then... she catches him. And she actually tells a pretty funny joke here. I really like 21-year-old Supergirl. She saved him and he goes, "That was unnecessary. I can do that myself." She goes, "Yeah, but I was just trying to cop a feel."
Yeah, what if I was just trying to cop a feel?
That's a great line. I like how she's comfortable just with her superhero duties. She never would have done that the last time we saw her. She was much more vulnerable, but now she feels a lot more comfortable. She's grown up. Life and death just doesn't faze her like it used to.
Life and death just doesn't faze her. What?
But, you know, usually it used to be when she was in a life or death fight that she was losing, she'd be like, "Oh no, I'm losing." Now she's like, time to crack a joke.
Holy shit. I mean, like, she was always one of those characters that was very,
She was quippy.
quippy, yes, but, like, very nonchalant about
She wasn't actually ever that quippy until now. Which I like. It shows that she's grown up a little bit.
She wasn't really that quippy, but she never really took situations too seriously.
She always had a brash confidence. She's not a think about her action. She's not a Batman. But she's smart in her own way. So, Bouncing Boy knocks the Persuader away, being the most successful so far. But he's quickly he's hit in the back by Emerald Empress and captured. So, and we see that Green Arrow is just kind of standing there. So, not a good day for our heroes. 2 captured and 1 knocked out. So Supergirl then attacks the Persuader and loses. This attack him one at a time strategy. Not good. And she's placed under mind control as well, leaving all of our heroes defeated. Sorry, then Brainiac 5 attacks and is defeated as well, leaving all of our heroes defeated. Thankfully, Brainiac 5 has some sort of sub-program running, which allows him to destroy the psionic mind control device. And Green Lantern wakes up, quickly defeated by Emerald Empress.
Quickly tries to go to a power struggle and then just kind of gets fucked over.
But that saves Brainiac 5, who then rips off Supergirl's mind control device, even running past Green Lantern to do so. Hint, hint. The Persuader knocks him away, and they leave. Perhaps Emerald Empress is powered by Green Lantern rings, so her getting one more is so valuable it justifies them leaving. That's my theory about why they left. Because because she says the value of a Green Lantern is so high, so it must make her significantly more powerful to have a Green Lantern.
Right. Or the fact that, I don't know, something like you can sell them off somewhere. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe there's like a secondary market for Green Lanterns.
Right.
All these things are very possible. And because there's got to be some reason the villains left, other than we needed it for the plot. So yeah, that's my personal theory.
I mean, like, the reasoning behind... He just kind of, like, ran past the Persuader.
Yeah.
Grabbed her and him, and they didn't go back to just kill them again. Because, like, they're still so overpowered. They had so much of an advantage. I don't think they had a time restraint or anything.
No, because here's the thing. They could have solved that so easily by having Brainiac 5 grab Supergirl and Green Arrow, try and fail to grab Green Lantern, and then, like, press a button and have the 3 of them teleported away.
Right.
That could have easily solved it, but they chose to do it this way, which makes no sense. So I'm bringing in the sense of the fact that having a Green Lantern is so valuable, they wanted to cut their losses and take the 2 people they did capture.
But they didn't have... Those weren't even losses. Those were, like, minor inconveniences. They had them at the moment. They could have just gone back and clinched the whole thing. But they didn't. I want to say that's poor writing.
Well, one, it is definitely poor writing. We are in 100% agreement about that. But I think I can backfill an explanation that fits the data we have.
I'm sure you can backfill an explanation for goddamn everything if you try hard enough and you take enough drugs. But that doesn't stop what they did here from being bad and stupid.
Okay, it's bad writing, but I think it was pretty easy to find a workaround universe where that makes sense.
I disagree. I very much disagree. Because
I thought my Emerald Eye is powered by Green Lantern rings theory.
There's literally no reason. Maybe she was rushing to get to an episode of Lost or something. I don't know. But there's no reason for them to have... They're like 5 feet away from each other. There's no reason for them to have said, yeah, no, I guess we'll just take this one and leave.
That's why teleporting them away would have made much more sense.
That would have made so much more sense. But they didn't do that.
But they didn't do that.
It was really, really stupid.
Yeah, no. It would have... Having to run also would have, I felt like, made our villains seem more intimidating.
Uh-huh.
Because the heroes never run away in this show. So it would have been better, I think. But they didn't do it. It was poor writing. So, they free Green Arrow, who still has his mind control device on, even though they did it. But not in time to save Green Lantern and Bouncing Boy. They finally get to the lab, and Brainiac 5 is detecting the mind control check. It turns out it's psionic, which I'm sure is not a word. But it's a future word. Supergirl Supergirl says they used to have psionic technology on her planet. I'm still calling it Argo. I'm not 100% sure what it's called. Oh, it is called Argo. Yep.
Argo.
So, Supergirl says on Argo they had it to find remote controls, which is, I think, the most fantastic use of thought control technology. Finding the remote control.
Right, and it was always.
I mean, here's the thing: if we invented it, that's probably actually what it would be most useful for in our day-to-day lives. Like, the most useful thing would be like factory work and stuff like that. One person could run a whole factory. But the most like normal day-to-day use we would probably put it to would be finding the remote control and your cell phone.
Finding the remote control. I mean, at that point, I feel like cell phones would be attached to your brain at that point.
Yeah, maybe. And you'd get B-mails and whatnot, but... So...
B-mail.
Supergirl brings 2 sodas, and I like how Green Arrow initially thinks it's for him. And
Right.
he, like, reaches out for it, and then she just hands it to Brainiac 5.
Right.
That's fantastic. You know, it's just a subtle thing they do. Having Green Arrow reach his hand out, expecting it's him, that really kind of sells me the romance of Supergirl and Brainiac 5. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't really sell me, you know, like, it doesn't really sell me the understanding that they're in love, because I understand...
Okay, they're not in love.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, yeah. 100%, they claim it right afterwards.
Okay, they're in teenage puppy love, like. There's a difference. That said, Supergirl's like 21 and rash and never really been out in the world, so it kind of makes sense that she would do something like this. Alright, so she asks him why he saved her, and he says it was logic, and she accepts it. But Green Arrow knows young love when he sees it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He asks Supergirl to... he finds an excuse. He asks her for, like, a soda, just to get out of the room, and confronts Brainiac 5 about it. Brainiac 5 then admits to himself he's in love, and then, when Supergirl comes back, Green Arrow has to go upgrade his arrows, you might say. And you can't see the air quotes, but there's some great air quotage right now. So, he officially cements his status as the coolest uncle ever. And, he goes on. So Supergirl also talks about her home planet for the first time in the show, which is kind of cool. I really liked listening to her talk about her home planet. And Superman, basically in this universe, Superman found her cryogenically frozen on Krypton's sister planet. She's actually lived most of her life on the sister planet of Krypton, Argo, before they were both destroyed, and then she was accidentally cryogenically frozen as the last of her planet. So, that's got to be some trauma she's dealing with. And that's one of the really good things about the Supergirl show, is that they kind of delve into the trauma of that. Not enough, in my opinion, but the best moments of the show really think about what would a person who everything she knew and loved died. How would they go on day to day, being a happy, good person?
We kind of get that with Superman in this show. Like with the man who has everything.
For the man who has everything, yeah. But Superman, it always, I thought, rings a little hollow. Because he doesn't remember Krypton.
Right, because he was a baby.
Yeah. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
He's mourning what could have been. She's mourning what was. And she's actually was born 16 years before Superman, but she's younger than him because of the time spent cryogenically frozen.
In this universe?
Yeah, in this universe.
I did not. There's a lot about her in this universe I do not know about.
Yeah, that's not the normal Supergirl story. Normally they're both from Krypton and stuff. And it's a little bit simpler, but I like this story. It was a pretty good episode of Superman the Animated Series where they introduced her. So, on the Fatal 5 spaceship, they reveal their plan to take over the galaxy.
Dun da da da.
It's basic but we don't have time to develop 5 villains, so they're evil. You don't really need to know more than that.
They're evil. Good evil.
Yes. Also, we get a look at all of them. They've got pretty cool designs. They're pretty if you know anything about Legion of Superheroes, you'll recognize them all. It's like Mano, something that starts with a V. The half-man guy, like Therac or something.
Validus? Wait. I have them because we got the expansion pack. And so they're Validus, and he's even drooling in his own picture, so I think that might have been a thing. Validus, the Persuader, Mano, I guess. Probably Mano, because like man, hand, whatever.
Yeah.
Therac, and the Emerald Empress.
Yep, that's right. I have it written here.
All cool characters.
So, yeah, no, they all have cool designs. They kind of play off each other's designs well. It was good. So...
And yet they got, like, a second each to do something of anything. We know that.
But we don't have time in this episode to develop
Why
the villains.
can't this be a two-parter, then?
Because they decided they didn't want to do two-parters in this show. The whole last show was all two-parters.
It was a stupid thing to do, though, because it was just
No, because you
this is the episode where she leaves.
After three seasons of two-parters, you were a little sick of them. You wanted these standalone episodes.
I don't know. I would have really enjoyed, because this...
Okay,
what's the word
You're
for
right.
it?
This story would have been better as a two-parter, especially since it was a goodbye to Supergirl.
Yeah, there wasn't enough build-up, especially when it was her decision. She didn't have enough reasoning to do what she did.
But she's rash and impulsive, so it makes sense. It fits her character.
It is, I guess, but, like, it just... Ugh. There was so much dumb about it.
So,
I just really... like, the whole them falling in love just didn't make sense at all.
I bought it. I don't know.
Because they'd known each other for such a short amount of time. There was no way they could have fallen
Saving
in
each
love.
other's lives a couple times moved the relationship forward fast. I don't know.
Once or
I bought it.
Twice, maybe.
Love at first sight is a classic trope in fiction. I know it doesn't exist in the real world and it's wildly unrealistic.
It is. It's classic. It's cheesy and it's stupid. And when you have love at first sight, you have it happen in like a movie saying. You have it happen in a book where it gets trailed on for a while. You don't have it happen in a 22-minute episode where literally they spend about 10 whole minutes of time together. There was no way they could have formed that bond.
They're both like teenagers and I bought it.
I did not buy it at all.
It worked on an emotional level for me, even if it didn't work on a logical level. And something like this, I don't think needs to work at a logical level. I think it only work at an emotional level. And I liked both characters. I liked them together. I thought they played off each other well. I thought the voice actors sort of matched well, I guess. I don't know. And the animation was good. So, in the lab, Brainiac 5 gives Supergirl a Legion flight ring.
Right.
And she makes a joke about them going steady.
All right. And he has no idea what that is.
Brainiac 5 is confused, and Supergirl says that joke would have killed it 1,000 years ago. Which, everything about that joke is fantastic for 2 reasons. This is not funny. 1,000 years ago, that joke was still old. It's not funny.
Oh, in the 1940s, because, that's pretty much where Superman grew up.
Yeah.
He grew up in that mindset.
So the first part of it's not funny, and second, it cements her status as a Midwestern farm girl that she made a joke like that, and expected people to laugh to it. So it's just, like, really fun, and the fact that it's such a bad joke is really funny. I don't know. It felt so Supergirl-ish, I just loved it. Even though it is an objectively terrible joke. So...
it was really bad, yeah.
But I loved it. Like a lot of things in this episode, it's kind of objectively terrible, but I love it. I don't know. It's a good metaphor for the episode. So...
Although, like, Like, that was another thing. That was a really cute thing for them to have done, but he didn't understand it at all. That would have been, some kind of joining of things. Like, they would have been really... He's like, oh, no, he's going to blush, and he's going to, like, shake it off. It's like, no, I'm not going steady. What the fuck are you talking about? Instead, he had no idea what that was. So they could not have shared any kind of bond together.
Oh, but they played off each other well. She felt comfortable joking with him, and then at the end... And then right after this...
For our amusement. There was absolutely no love between the two.
How can you not see the chemistry there? There was
no chemistry.
There was so much chemistry. And then after that, they, like, say words at the same time as they go over technobabble.
Ugh.
So after that, they go into technobabble because, Brainiac 5 has failed to track the Legion of Superheroes by their rings or by the psionic tech. So he's getting a little worried that he's not going to figure it out. And he's a 12th level intellect. But Supergirl realizes that they can use Green Lantern's comlink. And she can track them if they can just build a quantum tunneling refraction transponder.
Oh my god.
That's such great technobabble. That
moment, I cringed so hard.
What do you mean? That was such a great moment. That was like classic technobabble. That could have fit in like a Star Trek episode. It was so great.
There was no reason for that bullshit.
How? That was so great. That they worked together and they played off each other to figure it out.
Oh my god, that was so dumb.
And the writers thought of a legitimately good idea of how to track them.
It was horrendously dumb.
No,
like,
it was so cool.
How, of all the things for them to connect on, one...
It was the future technology, how she feels more at home in the future.
I understand that, but, like, there was no explanation for why she understood what that piece of machinery was.
Because she grew up in a futuristic society that was pretty equivalent to this one.
She grew up on a farm.
She did not grow up on a farm. She grew up on the planet Argo.
But she doesn't have any of that future shit when she brought it here. She didn't understand any of the machinery throughout any of the episodes before.
Okay, Elliot, do you know how like ancient technology works?
But Jordan, do you understand how continuity works? If she talked about it at all, I would have understood.
Okay, but
if she said anything beforehand about how this was like a thing that she knew and how these were things that she'd been with, we were explained nothing. None of the kids, none of the parents were explained that she had this kind of level of intelligence or understanding of sophisticated technology.
I was under the impression that this is like pretty common stuff.
You were under the impression
her time period. Sorry, not her time period. On her planet, that this sort of psionic technology and the technology of the 31st century, that's like video cameras and cell phones to us. Like, we kind of have an idea of how it works and we know how to use it. But if you put us in 1,000 years ago tech, I have no idea how to use a cotton gin or an abacus. Or anything like that.
The thing is, we have no references to her ever being a part of this kind of life. We have absolutely zero understanding.
What do you mean? We built it up earlier in the episode when Green Arrow was talking about how the Earth must feel like the Stone Age.
It was like a 5-second reference.
Okay, but we've referenced that before in Superman the Animated Series. Multiple times.
What, her having that ability?
No, we've referenced how that this is a very unfuturistic time for her. And there's stuff with her in the Fortress of Solitude marveling in the future tech from Krypton.
In Superman the Animated Series.
But it's the same universe. This is part of her character.
An entirely different series.
No, but it's the same character. It's the same universe.
Every single character has to have their time to freaking shine.
Okay, but she
Every
isn't in that
single
many
character
episodes.
is built up from zero in an understandable way.
But
And
this is
literally
built up from
every-
zero. I don't know why you don't see that.
It's not built up from. It's built up from zero out of when she's already at like 75. You can't just suddenly add an entirely new
But
explanation
she's
for
not
her
like a
character.
tech genius. She just knows a couple things.
She not like a tech genius. She
'Cause
just
here's the thing,
exploded
it's not like she-
with that.
Elliot, it's not like she helps Brainiac 5 build the thing. She
Did
just
you
knows the
understand
use
a
of
single
something.
word that came out of her mouth?
Okay, but
When-
that might be a normal word in the future.
In the future, not in the present, where we are watching her.
Okay, but it doesn't
what
matter
you're doing,
because
Jordan,
she's
Jordan,
effectively from the
Jordan,
future.
Jordan. Step back. What you're doing is filling in so much of the missing holes for this
But
story.
it makes sense.
No,
And they
it
built
does
this
not.
stuff up so I don't have to fill in much. I just
It
need to
makes sense.
do
It
a
makes
couple
sense.
basic assumptions.
It makes sense if you make assumptions and you jump to conclusions.
But that's
It
what I
doesn't
thought
make
as soon as I
sense.
saw the episode.
Doesn't make sense in terms of storytelling, though, and I can guarantee
But
you,
it does make
almost
sense in terms of storytelling. That felt
99%
natural to me.
99% of people watching this, I'm not just throwing out that number like a fucking Donald Trump quote, tens of thousands, whatever. 99% of people guaranteed would not jump to that assumption.
Okay,
What
I
they
have a
would
bet.
they would get is the lovey-dovey situation and just write it off as that. I don't think anyone would take it nearly as far as making up the understanding of what her world is and how this is a part of her character.
What do you mean? That she's from
People-
a futuristic society?
Would
So she
push
knows
off
something about
stuff,
future technology? I don't think that's terribly far-fetched. You
would
know,
push it off to the side.
you
and
kind
not
of know how
even care.
computer code works and...
No, like not
like that.
even.
Of
I don't
course you
think
do.
a
You know a
normal
little bit. You
person-
can do like Excel coding and stuff like that.
No,
Everyone
I don't
can do
understand
that.
coding in any way, shape, or
You
form. I
can't
know
like
that it's a
sum
thing
a
and it's
column
hard
and stuff like
process.
that.
What?
I said you could like sum a column and make a graph in
I
Excel.
have no idea what. Oh, okay. That's Excel isn't coding though. Excel is understanding how to use like functions and graphs. Those are like the buttons that you push. That's not coding. Coding is basic programming.
You can do some
and
stuff that's
creation.
pretty advanced to people from 50 years ago.
Of course, to 50 years ago. 50 years ago, they didn't have these fucking computers.
So think about how advanced she is 1,000 years in the future.
But that was
Effectively,
never
technologically.
something that was brought up until now.
But it was something that was brought
It
up.
was never. Not
Earlier
in
in
the
the
entire
episode.
series. Not in this entire series. I want you to show me examples of when they did this. in the past
This
series.
was the third part of a 3-beat. First, Green Arrow says it. Second, she talks about the psionic remotes on her home planet. And
That
third,
was so different, though.
no, but it's not.
It so is.
It is
she
so
was
not.
Using that. She was using that like she did in every. She was using that like as if it was just a piece of technology, like a remote.
That's
Not
what she
under-
does with
not
the quantum
understanding-
thingamajigger.
Not understanding
Quantum
highly
tunneling
complicated
RF transponder.
technobabble. That was a completely other, another headspace. She was talking about finding a remote. Like, I can understand that being the
Okay,
base
but
level.
she said it in a way that implied she understood something about psionic
No,
technology.
she did not.
She clearly knew
no.
something about psionic technology, like I know about how cell phones work.
No.
Yeah.
She implied it like she was some country hillbilly.
She
saying,
did not
like,
do that.
We have all this fancy
She has
technology.
some Midwestern in her, but she's like Kansas State here. She's
She-
not.
Find the remote.
She's not hillbilly. She's
She's not a
Kansas State.
hillbilly, but she's not on that level.
But she is.
She's not.
Clear. It happened, so clearly she is.
It happened because this is a terrible episode, and
This
the
is
writers
not a
are
terrible episode.
so
It
far
built
up their
the
asses.
character. It was a good character moment.
It was
And it
not.
showed how they
If
have
it was
chemistry.
such a good character moment, then why couldn't they have made more references to it in, I don't know, 2 of the 3 seasons that happened?
She's only in like 3 episodes.
And why didn't they
we do
refer
in
to it then?
Fearful Symmetry, Elliot. In Fearful Symmetry, she hacks a computer.
Does she?
Yes.
In Fearful Symmetry, well, okay, everyone can hack a computer in this series because
that's the only time in the whole show she interacts with technology. So, and she's competent when she does it.
I want to see her hack that fucking computer. I don't think she hacked the computer. I think she just used a computer.
She breaks into encrypted files. What else would you call that?
I want to fucking see this shit. Because I swear to God.
Okay. So, I think we need to make a side bet after this is over and have Pat or Ben or someone watch this episode and see what they think.
Right.
So, and they should like read the Supergirl DCAU wiki
Bullshit! No, they should not. No, they should not, because the people that are watching this series do not have that. The people that are watching this series,
afterwards.
The only thing that they have are this show and this show alone. You can only explain the characters in the universe that they live in the show that you are watching. You have to start from zero from then. You cannot take things back.
But this is a whole universe. You should be able to use Superman the animated series. Whatever. We'll come up with the terms of the bet later. And the stakes and whatnot. So, they build the QTRFT. And they find them. Green Arrow is actually building new arrows when he's summoned to join them. Brainiac 5 tracks the Fatal Five's ship and finds out they're heading to the capital to, take over the galaxy. They can get there first.
Small.
But after that, they're going to have to improvise. On Brainiac 5's ship, Supergirl is impressed. Another beat where we show how she knows technology. He asks her what she operates. I love this. She says, mostly a pickup.
That just goes back to fucking her not having the technology.
No, I think it's really cute that she drives a car.
It went right back into her being like this hillbilly thing.
She's not a hillbilly. She's Midwestern. There's a difference.
A fucking pickup and finding the remote. And then out of nowhere, we had that goddamn scene where suddenly technobabble and I understand everything.
Okay, I don't think that's that advanced to them because Brainiac 5 can build one out of pretty much nothing. So what he ripped apart looked really old and run down. So I think it's very like basic, easy tech for that time period. The quantum tunneler RF transponder or something like that. Also, I always assume things with the name transponder in them are old-fashioned because that's like 50s technobabble talk. So, he asks if that's a type of Star Cruiser, and Green Arrow says yes, and he and Supergirl share a really amused look. Brainiac 5 is less than pleased at the joke at his expense.
Of course.
But they don't have time to explain it to him because they're interrupted by the Fatal Five, who send the Legion of Superheroes and Green Lantern at the planet.
Which is cool, because we see a lot of really interesting characters.
Yeah, we see a lot of really cool characters. Yeah. I don't have time to name them all.
Right.
I saw Lightning Lad, Phantom Girl, all the mainstays. Watch Legion of Superheroes if you want to be able to name them all.
Right.
We should also talk later a little bit about the Legion of Superheroes episode. So, Supergirl goes to stop them, but Brainiac 5 holds her up, almost saying he loves her, but instead coming clean about her dying. Green Arrow, not happy with this.
Almost says he loves her, and is like, damn, I can't just come out and say that. I've got to say something different. You're gonna die. Oh, that's probably worse. Scratch back. I love you. How about that?
I think the love you was like a Freudian slip thing there. That he was trying to say, you're gonna die.
No, he was gonna say I love you.
Definitely Freudian.
He was definitely going to say I love you. And he tried to cover it up with you're gonna die.
I think it's the other way around, but okay.
Well, he was very clearly just about to say I love you.
Oh, he was definitely about to say I love you.
Yeah, Yeah, so, and then he was covering up with the other one.
I don't think he was covering it up. I think he said it because he thought it was right.
I think he was covering it up first, and then because it was right...
Brainiac 5 is a hero. He's a true hero.
Yeah, I know.
And he can't lie. He can't be dishonest.
He was the one that didn't really find much of a problem with it at first. I mean, he found a problem with it, but he was the one that decided to do it.
Yeah, but I think he couldn't go through with something that cold-hearted. Because he's a hero.
Like, the way that they represented it in this episode, was the fact that he was about to say, I love you, and was like, fuck, I can't do that.
I think she got what he was saying there. I think he just said the more important thing instead. So, Green Arrow is once again the best uncle ever. I love his reaction, that it's him who's angry about it, not Supergirl. She's a great character. But Supergirl is also a hero. Even knowing she's gonna die, she goes anyway. Kissing Brainiac 5, just in case.
Yeah, kissing Brainiac 5. Because they were that close. Because they've known each other for half an hour. So obviously they've fallen in love.
And wouldn't you kiss someone you had a crush on if you thought you were about to die?
That's true, yes. But, like, that's a crush, and he was in love with her in, like, 5 seconds. It was so cheesy.
The word love might not have the same meaning in 1,000 years.
Oh my god. It doesn't matter! Because we're not telling a story where you constantly think about the aspects of the future. We're telling a story to kids who don't assume past 5 years from now. Hell, they don't assume past 5 days from now. We're telling a story that kids can understand. That's why it was quick and cheesy and dumb. But it didn't make any sense if you were to think about it for 5 minutes.
The holes weren't that big. They were pretty easy to fill in. If you just thought about it for 2 seconds. And they worked on an emotional level well enough that I'm willing to fill in the logical holes.
You're willing to fill in the logical holes because you feel bad for it.
I don't feel bad for it. I genuinely enjoy it and like the characters. And relate to them on an emotional level.
You fall in love with people like this?
No.
Yes, of course not. Because that's dumb. Do you also make, decisions to stay in future and completely not
Okay, but they have like 3 or 4 beats of her being uncomfortable in the past and comfortable in the future. They spend the whole episode building up to that.
3 or 4 beats having her be comfortable in the future in this episode alone. Not in everything before.
Okay, but she's only in like 3 episodes before this. And she was kind of busy in those.
Oh, no. She was busy telling a totally different story. Huh. I wonder why. Maybe it's because it was a completely different writer trying to get in.
They go through all of this and she kind of made her peace with living in the Stone Age in Superman the Animated Series. So it would have been retread to do it again in this show.
It would not have been retread.
Also, do you, say basic characteristics about yourself? Hi, you don't, walk into a room with me and go, hi, I'm Elliot Catch. I was an English major, and now I work for a real estate company.
No, I don't, because that's called exposition.
Because I know that.
But what we do is, for all the people out there who don't know that, I say things, I do things that explain explicitly.
But we only see her with people she knows well and has done a lot of things with.
They're implied.
So she's not going to, retread this information.
It's called good storytelling. So you do things.
This is good storytelling. It works on an emotional level. The plot holes aren't that big.
They're not so blatant and forced.
But they're not blatant, and it doesn't feel forced, it feels smooth.
Because they've never had her talk like this.
But they have, and you just haven't seen the episode.
No, they have not. Oh my God.
Superman the Animated Series.
You're going to show me those episodes, and she's never going to say
anything. I unfortunately saw them on TV 10 years ago.
Right! You have any idea.
And it's not on Netflix. I checked. I was going to look. I was going to rewatch the episodes, but I couldn't find them. So, the other two, Green Arrow and Brainiac 5, attack the Fatal Five. I love it. They just crash their ship into the Fatal Five ship. And there's a nice, like, Star Wars reference as they, like, fly in through the lasers, and the other ship looks kind of like the Death Star. It's a nice touch.
Does it look like the Death Star?
It does. It looks like the
other
Death
ship
Star in
was
the
like
fourth
a
movie.
fucking Twinkie.
No,
was
no,
like
not
a-
the
it was
big
like
thing.
A squeezy
The macro.
thing.
No. You know the part where Luke is with the guys and he is flying in the like curves
Do
of
you
the
remember
Death
what the
Star,
Death
and
Star
there's like
looked like?
things shooting at him.
It's a big circle. That was not a big circle.
No. The macro view doesn't look like the Death Star, but that little part where Luke goes through,
Okay.
where it goes through the tunnel and he drops the bomb.
Right. Or he shoots the laser.
Yeah. So they crash it straight into the Fatal Five ship, and that's how they get into the ship. Supergirl attacks the heroes, and they fight.
She's
She's
fending
doing
them off.
well, but there's just too many of them to win. I wonder why she didn't like grab any of the heads and like pull off the mind control things. Like it seems like that would have been a good way to gain allies, but
Right. Except she didn't, because of course she has to fight everyone like a badass, which is what the writers wanted.
yeah.
So it wasn't smart. Didn't make
Okay.
any sense.
Okay, but here's the thing. It could be that just she didn't have time to do that because she was fighting like 20 people.
Bullshit! She grabbed someone and threw him at another person.
Yeah, but it's really hard to, in the middle of a fight,
it's
grab
really
somebody.
hard.
That's like a really hard, difficult thing to do.
Oh yeah, it's a really hard thing for when I'm holding this person. I can't flip them around, grab the thing on their head, and just. I am Supergirl, and I can't punch someone in the forehead. I can punch them in every other place but the forehead.
I don't know. It made sense to me that she was just
Because you're
overwhelmed
filling this
by
shit in. You're
I'm
making
not
so
filling
many
the shit
excuses.
in. I'm just saying she could have been overwhelmed by the amount of people. That's
We
not a
saw
terribly
how
unreasonable
many
thing to
times.
expect someone who's barely more than a teenager.
How many times did they do it in the beginning when it was Green Lantern?
Yes, but it
the
was Brainiac 5
Persuader?
who has been dealing with this technology his whole life.
How come he couldn't have told her? Huh? How come he couldn't have told her about that? They were going through that technology the entire time.
Okay,
What
but
about
when you're
that?
fighting, you aren't always so
He
logical.
didn't-
It's hard
he
to keep your head in a
didn't
fight.
explain anything to her, Jordan. He didn't. Why didn't he? He wasn't thinking, but he's a 12th level intellect, Jordan. Because he fell in love. He fell in love in 5 fucking minutes. 5 goddamn minutes. He had no explanation for that. If they had 2 episodes, if they had an entire episode to build up this, and then to show they actually did fall in love, then it would make sense.
It would have made sense also if they had extended the time period.
Oh my god. Just like did not at all.
Yeah. And like they'd been there a month or something maybe, but whatever. We have what we have, and I like it. So, Green Arrow and Brainiac 5 find the Fatal Five, and they attack. There's a bad joke about shoot can mean like darn it and fire your fucking bow.
Oh yeah. That was kind of funny.
Oh really? I thought that was like the worst joke of the whole show.
I mean, like, the worst joke of this show is the fact that this was actually an episode. That was
I'm
the
not getting
worst
into
joke.
it.
I'm not laughing.
So, Green Arrow and Brainiac 5 are actually doing better than expected. They actually completely defeat Mono, but they still have 4 to go, and they're losing. When Green Arrow fires an arrow that bounces off the wall, bounces off the ceiling, cracks Validus's, who's like their big gun,
Right.
brain case, and destroys the mind control signal like a boss.
Which was just like, okay, what the fuck?
It was awesome.
Yeah, it just bounced over everything.
And
I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't care at that point.
And it was just in time because Supergirl was about an inch from losing. Lying broken on the ground.
Right. That
Green
was another
Lantern.
thing.
Green
my
Lantern comes
God.
to, and seeing her, picks her up, cradling her in her arms, as the whole legion of superheroes watches.
Oh, man.
And
this was the point. This was, she's dead, man. She's fucking out for the count. She is hurt. She took so much damage.
And it's a reference to Crisis on Infinite Earths, the really famous cover with Superman doing this, and like the whole DC universe looking on in the background.
Right,
It was a great reference.
But that was all it is.
Yeah, it was a reference. It was nice. So, on the ship, Green Arrow and Brainiac 5 are about to lose when a hole appears in Validus. It's Supergirl! She's alive! It was a fun misdirection. I liked it.
It wasn't like... we just literally 5 seconds ago were supposed to feel that she was
stuff
dead.
like that all the time in superhero shows.
Not really.
They gave her like a sensu bean.
Not so quickly. There was a bout.
Also, she doesn't look like all there. She just like had enough to destroy Validus.
No, she was standing strong. Her fucking cape was billowing in the wind.
There was no wind. Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, that's the one.
Space. Maybe it's the air conditioner. Okay. So then the whole Legion of Superheroes easily defeats the Fatal Five. On the planet, they're made honorary members of Legion of Superheroes. They're even given their own rings. But they have to give them back because, time's paradoxes.
I thought that was kind of cute. It was just like, we're making you honorary members, but we can't let you keep the rings, so we're just going to hand them to you so you can hand them back to us.
Yeah. I liked it. It was very Legion of Superheroes because the Legion of Superheroes always they're never quite organized. And so it kind of fit their character that this is how they would honor them. And then have to ask for it back. So, there's a beautiful sunset in the background, though. It's a nice-looking city. It's a good scene for it. Excellent animation. Supergirl has made a decision, though. She's not going back. She's going to stay with Brainiac 5, and I can already hear Elliot's inhales of anger. And the Legion of Superheroes. She cuddles with Brainiac 5 as she announces this.
Oh,
and they share a doting smile. Green Lantern, little less happy. Green Arrow, pretty neutral, but that's probably mostly because they didn't pay to animate him. We just get stock footage of him in the background for this whole scene. Same thing with all the Legion of Superhero except Brainiac 5. So that was a shame. This is the second time they've tried to do a crowd scene. And they don't have the money to animate a crowd scene. You have to let people move. Otherwise, it just looks awful. And this scene just looks awful. The animation is so bad. Because they tried to put too many people and they couldn't afford to make them move so it feels wooden. Sorry, that's my animation rant.
Yeah, no, I mean, just like, in all honesty, I just didn't even care about that point. Like, the picture and the imagery just kind of, I thought it was a nice part of the episode because everything else felt like shit to me.
Well, either way, she talks about how she feels more comfortable in the futuristic world. In the present, Steel and Superman are trying to trace our three heroes. Superman's really worried. You can hear it in his voice. It's great voice acting. Then Green Lantern and Green Arrow appear. Superman asks where Kara is. I like how he uses her real name there.
Right. It was kind of nice.
And Green Lantern hands him a message cue. They go to the... I'm going to call it the commissary. And they play the message cue. In it, Supergirl talks about how she fits in the future. And how she's out of his shadow and how she can help her there. All the things they were building up at the beginning of the episode. Also, I just want to talk now a little bit about the Legion of Superheroes show. And how much better it would have been if they did it in the DC animated universe. And had it be Supergirl in the future with them. Instead of a young Superman.
Right. I remember that.
Like, how cool would it have been if it was like the same people doing that other show and it was the same animation and stuff?
It would have been interesting, yeah.
And then you
I
had
just-
like the romance between Brainiac 5 and Supergirl building, and
The thing was, they were intending to make it more of like, a cartoony thing for kids instead of a really weird romance that should never have happened and a terrible
I
plot
loved.
that just didn't exist. I
Okay.
think they were, in all honesty, just trying to snuff out the fact that this happened and ignore it completely because the characters were
I read an
practically
interview.
completely different.
The plan was always to make Legion of Superheroes a standalone show with Superman in it. But I think it would have been a better show with Supergirl. And in this universe. I think that would have been so cool. But I like what we got. I enjoyed it. There was way too much filler. But Superman X was kind of cool. And I liked Brainy. And Lightning Lad was fun. I don't know, it was nice. So,
I never really watched it.
Yeah, I liked it. It's worth checking out. It's one of the worst DC animated shows, but it's still quite good. So, she also wishes Ma and Pa Kent well. And
Yeah, two other people that she just kind of threw under the bus and didn't ever, this was
What
her
do you mean?
decision
You
to not
her
see
in her
anyone.
room at the Kents. Remember? Her, laser eyes go off? And we were talking about, I really hope the Kents don't sleep above her?
Right, but those were still her family, and it's not like they can't bring them back. Why can't she go back?
She can probably
to the
visit
fu-
in the time
Why
bubble.
can't she go back to the past and then they try to bring her to the future again? She'd be like, quickly send me back. I'll say goodbye to everyone, and then you bring me back to the future. How about that?
I don't
let me
think you
get
can,
all my
go back
shit.
and forth in the future that much. I think they made it very clear that this is a very serious, desperate thing they did. In most Legion of Superheroes comics, you can go back and forth from the future like you would go to the supermarket. Like, if you're out of eggs, you can go to the past and borrow Superman's. But in this universe, there are serious consequences to time travel.
Right.
Look what happened in the Once and Future thing. In that two-parter. How the universe
That
really
was
ended.
different, though. Because that one was, he was directly messing up with time. He was directly influencing time in ways that were clearly never supposed to happen. In this, they just brought a few people to the future that was written in history was supposed to happen.
Yeah. So either way, Superman accepts the message, but wishes he had said more to her. And I think he's a little sad that he didn't tell her how proud he was of her.
He's a little sad that she just kind of ran away.
Green Arrow comforts her, saying she knew. And the
Comforts
episode ends with Superman asking what this boy's name was.
That was funny.
And Green Arrow and Green Lantern's terrified reactions lead us to the credits.
That was really funny. That
was
last
so funny.
part.
I would love to see the next scene where Superman finds out she's gonna be with a Brainiac.
It would have been perfect. It would have been a shot of the Watchtower.
Yeah.
And kind of like going out, and then you just see it like rumbling as Superman is screaming, "She's in love with who?"
Yeah.
Just like, his name is what?
Yeah.
Just
Like, yeah, but he's a really nice guy.
yeah, no, he's not like the other ones. Don't worry.
He's Brainiac
see-
5.
you see,
5.
Yeah. See, like, chairs and shit are getting hurled out of the fucking place. Oh my god. There's just holes in the Watchtower now because he's freaking out.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's it. I'm finding Darkseid and using him as a punching bag now.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. He's just so distraught. That was, oh my god, it would be great if he was. To see a angry, but like not rage-induced, more of freaking the fuck out Superman. That would be great. That would be perfect. Still. Ugh. Jeez. This episode. Oh my god.
Alright. So, on the whole, I quite enjoyed this and thought it was a good send-off for Supergirl. I feel like it built her character. It brought back stuff about her future planet. I thoroughly felt an emotional connection to all the characters. I really liked this episode. And Elliot.
I absolutely hated it. It was a terribly written episode. It made absolutely no sense on any level whatsoever. The action wasn't as great as it could have been. I think I was all right, but it just didn't really hit that level hard enough to save it. The characters were all really cool, but not cool enough, because we didn't really get to see them. You know, we saw, like, maybe 1 or 2 instances of them existing, but, like, nothing else happened. It was so horrendous. We saw their names and maybe, like, what they could do. Mano, I think, just yelled and then fell through the floor.
No, Mano didn't get a single line. But I love how they defeated him. That they used his own power against him by forcing him to attack the floor, and then he fell through it because he dissolves objects. That was smart. It was great by Green Arrow. So, I liked it. So, I think this is going to be a pretty big rating, because I'm going to put this at 11, just below Flash and Substance, and above the Balance.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. This is a huge difference for me.
Yep, this is going to be the biggest difference since, what is it, The Ties That Bind, I think? No. What was the episode? I have really, you have quite high, and, oh no, that you have really low, and I have high. To Another Shore, which is, I have at 6, and you have at 26, so that's 20 apart. And I put this at 11. And where do you put this?
Can you guess, Jordan?
32?
Just give it a wild... I can't remember where's the... 31 is the bottom I have right now?
So 32 would be
Can I put it at 35?
You can at the end of the series?
Yes, please. Holy shit.
So, this is the new biggest split by 1, beating out the Ties That Bind. Not The Ties That Bind, sorry. To Another Shore. And what's kind of funny is it goes the same way both times. With me liking the episode much more than you. Although this one was way more contentious. Like, my understanding is you would put this way below The Cat and the Canary. Whereas...
Oh my god.
I still kind of... Whereas you still kind of liked The Ties That Bind.
Yeah.
I mean, you rated it above Kid Stuff, which you considered a pretty good episode, and Fearful Symmetry, which I considered quite a good episode. So... I think that's cool. Do you have any last words?
Fuck this episode. Fuck the writers. Fuck jumping to conclusions. Fuck assumptions. Fuck continuity, or the lack thereof. But enjoy your own opinions, no matter how wrong they are.
I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on this.
Yeah.
Have a good one, and stay beautiful.